Ладно, пойдемте в купол. Что делать? В смысле? Я что, отмычки не забрал? Ну хоть без отмычек можно. Угу.
This is a pre-recorded attack message indicating my desire to commit violence on you. This is a pre-recorded attack message indicating my desire to commit violence on you. Crush them with your pincers! This is a pre-recorded attack message indicating my desire to commit violence on you.
Изи.
Crush them with your pincers! attack message indicating my desire to commit on you. Crush them with your pincers. You can't avoid the deadly laser of Doktор Мебиус. X-42, attack in the name of Mobius. X-42, attack in the name of Mobius! Crush them with your pincers! An intruder is here. I am certain of it.
Вот и все. Не, интересно завалить. В принципе, можно не бояться теперь никого. Мы всех роботов победили, ну, практически. Сколько всяческого хлама-то, а? То есть это даже не его изобретение, насколько понимаю, да? Так. Ну ладно. С доктором Мебиусом еще успеем разобраться. Пойдем сначала умный дом донастроим.
Attention, Big Mountain. This is an urgent message. If you happen to see a gecko, echo,
Ой-ой-ой-ой-ой.
echo, echo, echo.
Да сколько вас тут? Ай, сейчас я думал в скалу попаду. Нормально. Хоть не в скалу, это уже хорошо. Охренеть их тут. Офигеть, я еще и перегруженный, да, стал? Так. Так, шишки-баб есть, гранатомет. А, кстати, бутылочки. Блин, ладно. А где заколки? Походу мы заколки тоже переработали.
Go, my mighty robo scorpions, crawl in search of intelligence, then sting. Intelligence. Yes, sting it.
Ой-ой-ой-ой-ой.
You better run, you commie-loving bastard. I'm just getting warmed up. Hooah!
Блин, да, что такое?
Is that the best you can do? To do needed time.
Что у нас там по статусу?
You're starting to piss me off. Today's a hell of a day to die, commie.
Туда, к остальным. Мы смотрели, нет? Да, смотрели. Значит, скорее всего, это тоже... А, нет, не смотрели. Хорошо. То есть какие-то остатки сопротивления.
Fine. As useless as the bottle of the same name. Well, except as an example of an object that uselessly tries to fulfill its purpose.
Какие же они шумные, а? А где остатки того? Ага, все. Точно. Угу. Значит, пойдем по тому пути. Вот он, мешочек аленькой. Так, мы все подобрали, получается. Ну да, больше некуда деваться. Так, вроде бы все, да, собрали.
Might I be of service?
Was that?
Come on, baby. Bring me a sweet little dried
Так, полевые исследования, да, у нас выполнено. Да, точно. Походу я переработал заколки. Да уж. Нормально. Так, задание. Все. Теперь можно смело идти разбираться с Мебиусом. Кстати, а здесь ничего нету затаренного? Не, ничего нет. Так, сохраняемся. Пойдем сразу на второй этаж. Блин. Как вторая лаборатория по факту. Ой, сколько тут всего. Блин, а то, что черно-белое. О, да. Ментантов, конечно. Ментатов, конечно. Тут мое почтение. Что там? Ага, берем.
They said I was mad. Preposterous. Not an angry bone in my body. Have them all removed.
Да ты не просто сумасшедший, ты псих. Да, мозг у меня, конечно. Ну, поймете, о чем я. Храпака знатного дал. Просто в карман все. Охренеть, мы тут сейчас на переработку сколько всего оттащим.
They said I was mad. Preposterous. Not an angry bone in my body. Have them all removed.
Конечно, мы кого не будем убивать. Да и вообще, наверное, не будем убивать. Он безобидный. Как говорится, не сумасшедший ученый, просто дурак. Ни хрена ты летаешь. Ну все, по идее. Теперь можно на смелого, на характере.
Oh, hello there. You are there, aren't you? Forgive my confusion. So hard to tell these days. You seem familiar somehow. I'm guessing you're here for your brain, perhaps? It's just up there. Such a nice brain, young, very bright. Little hard to see you. Can you walk into my left, right FOV cone? Ah. Depth perception is a problem with this old monitor of mine. Went black. Should look at getting the visual nerves reattached. It's just that the right eye would see the wrong things. Would you care for a mentat? I have all sorts of amazingly science-terrific thoughts and ideas. I forget them all not long after, though. Especially with the data constipating my... Had to start using the dome floor and walls here to inscribe equations. Although I've some... Really? That implies preconceived notions, theories, and a hypothesis about this meeting. After all, it might be worth a cognitive realignment if you're... Oh, a variety of reasons. You're something of a homily. The anomaly? You're really quiet. You see, you are the most successful brain extraction experiment ever performed. If you were to go back with what your brain knows, your brain could be popped back in and you could walk right out of here. I'm not sure, except that I'm sure there's a very good reason for it. Even if I forget them occasionally. Although I feel... Now, that seems to be rather hormonal of you. Your brain is here, safe with... Do you? You seem... And does it even want to go back with you? Maybe you should... Tell you what, I'll leave it up to your brain. If it... The ghosts aren't real? That changes everything. Why, I can save my... Please be my guest. The receptor is there, and the side switch... Oh, yes, that feels wonderful. Well, every scientist needs an army. Mine came to me after these rather large scorpions. How scary, I thought. But they had survived when nothing else... Then I thought, what if they shot energy bolts and acted as walking eyes and data-drained computers? Then I thought about custard. I do so love custard. Or was it mustard? I find things... Oh, I was probably tripping hard on Psycho when I sent that. Had to work my... So many chems, such varieties. Whenever I take Mentats... As for the Psycho, sometimes get the chem dispositories in my tank all switched up. Going... Did I? Maybe I did. Can't have them leaving. So, you and your brain are quite alike. I'm sure... Dr. Mobius. Rather catchy, isn't it? It's my name. This name's as real as you or I. Although I believe your brain expressed similar incredulity. Someone's been watching too many old-world science fiction. I must admit I have a vulnerability for holotape fantasies of planets and robots and all that. Like the think tank, we were all reprogrammed to forget them, take on new names. It informed... Now, trap is a rather harsh word, like excrement. Not an inappropriate word, but still... But, yes, I did take some liberty. I certainly didn't until you said trap, and then I said... The radar fence to keep the think tank hemmed in wasn't really enough. They keep testing things. They would have... I suspect I have Plan C's in place, but I may have coded myself to forget them, just in case. So I had to do something else to keep them occupied here. Or as you like to say, trapped. I prefer to... Oh, you you figured it out. No pun intended. Dr. O, which is actually not his real name multiplied, since you can't multiply his real name in the first place. Ouroboros. They have all forgotten themselves, and not only themselves, but the world. I reprogrammed their chronometers, geometers, and it was a merciful lobotomy, really, thinking back. They were my friends, but... And the world isn't ready for that kind of too-far thing-taking. Really? It is so unlike me to make an error. Well, it's simple. Despite their many failings, they are rather bright. They are the think. Without something to distract them, make them afraid, they would simply deduce what had happened. Then you came along, the final variable solved. They saw that their world was larger. There have been other visitors to make them doubt that you were irrefutable proof that there was a world outside. And then, see, your brain had a special kind of wrinkle, a uniquity that they had never... Yes, very good. I should have mentats ingest you instead of the other way around. In any event, you showed up at the think tank, and bullets in the head are usually much more fatal, and yours was a light case of bullet headitis. But it was enough for the autodoc in the sink to change its programming to fix the problem. That gave the think tank the knowledge its brains couldn't. If they obtain that procedural data, they can use it to mush and once they're... I consider coincidence to be profanity, along with the words astrology. My threat broadcast is designed to instill and install fear. It prompted them to focus on retrieving those technologies and bring them to... And coincidentally, pardon my language, all those technologies are neat. The X2 antenna can be used to focus your alpha wave frequency thought patterns. The sneaky suit? Why, it houses a cardiac regulator. And the sonic sound wave projecto emitter was never intended as a weapon. It was a medicinal vertebrae pulse descent. In short, brains, a heart, and courage. Spine. I think there was a story. They had them all the time in the story. Didn't stop them from murdering to get them. Yes, my overly aggressive cammed-up broadcast was designed to keep reinforcing the... Oh, and the get me the things to castrate your... But I couldn't delete you or your arrival any more than I could the other. You're really quite difficult to ignore, you know. It's because you're, well, bah. Oh, that means my plan is a total failure. Oh, well. Yes, yes, this is getting interesting.
Так, ладненько.
Electrons attached to the
А вот и мои мозги плавающие.
Well, well, look who finally dragged themselves in out of the wasteland. And where have we been, hmm? Crawling through pits. Ah, lovely. Figured that out, have we? Would you like a cookie? Well, that's a fine how do you do. Me, quote, dick, unquote. As if I'm the one responsible. I'm not the one that makes us clamber around Technus-infested ancient vaults or go charging off to New Vegas on missions of... And have we forgotten who got us shot in the head and buried in a shallow grave? Hmm? Do you think I enjoyed that little moment? I most certainly am not. I am the seat of all reason and logic in our little partnership. All those feelings that motivate you, that sense of righteousness and that rush you get when you help someone, do you know where those come from? Glands. They come from glands. Free of the tyranny of your ape-like and primitive endocrine system, I can... Well, look, it's all a very complex system of biofeedback and other things I wouldn't expect you to understand. Oh, all right. Perhaps I am, but at least I'm logical about it. After the think tank extracted me from your skull, they fell to bickering amongst themselves. I'm sad to say we were quite... Dr. Mobius saw an opportunity to gain some leverage and had me spirited away to his dome. I don't know. I'm afraid the trauma of our separation rendered me quite insensate. I didn't come around until... I'm quite sure whatever he did was highly scientific, though. Hardly. Dr. Mobius keeps a close optical sensor on the goings-on at the think tank. As soon as he saw the opportunity... I'm not going to lie to you. The prospect is definitely... Look at it from my perspective. Here I have peace, quiet, and safety. Well, in your head, I've got poison, radiation, grisly injury. Do you know how much more you can get done when you're not constantly looking for places? Overrated biological feedback. Believe me, you only feel that way because you've got all that meat. I suppose you're right. That does call certain assumptions into question, doesn't it? Indeed, quite the conundrum. How do you suppose we resolve it?
Ну, на самом деле нет. Ладно. Забрать его?
I suppose there might be some advantage to that, yes. There's a chance that the reintegration would create some improved synergy between us. Well, I suppose you've convinced me well enough. I'll rejoin your body. Unfortunately, before we get... Even if I could settle myself back in your skull and reconnect all those pesky nerve endings, Dr. Mobius doesn't have the tools here. We would have to make use of Dr. Klein's lab, and I rather doubt the brains are inclined to... And you believe them? Really? I know you were recently deprived of my fabulous advice, but once I'm delivered into their clutches, they'll find a way past the radar fence and the whole Mojave will be their playground. And that is assuming, of course, that one of them doesn't take a fancy to our body and decide to slip his own... Well, I suppose I do miss those endorphin rushes when we save the day. Right. Look out, think tank. This brain is coming out of it. I suppose now that we're reunited, you'll want to fill your torso up with those other meaty parts the think tank took from us. Personally, I think your upgrades are quite a bit better. But now that I'm with you, the Sync's autodock can plug them back. Right then, off we go. Klein will be in for a nasty shock when he realizes the pacification field...
Preposterous! Not an angry bone in my body. Have them all removed.
Так, задание. Так, если мы спрыгнем, нормально. Полетели.
You require some additional... I ever tell you about Saxomatron version 4.0?
You've been working.
Best.
Might I be of service?
Trumpet player.
Might I be of service? Might I be of service?
decline awaits.
You should really see